I'm going to be reviewing with you for the common assessment. I'm going to go ahead and do the odd numbers, and I'm going to try to make it as short as possible. This here we're going to write, I think the instructions are to write the inverse, find the inverse. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to find the inverse. Remember, you're going to switch. You have x log of negative 3y. You know it's base 10. So it's going to be 10 to the x power equals negative 3y. And since you want y by itself, you're going to divide by negative 3. So you have 10 to the power x divided by 3 equals, or negative, equal y. So your answer is B. For this next problem, we have a logarithm of base 3 of 1. Remember that you want to write it as your inverse. So you have 3 raised to the power x gives you 1. So we know that 3 to the 0 power gives you 1. So x equals 0. So your answer is D. So for number 6, we have base 3. We know that we have log base 3, and then it's a 7, plus log base 3 of 12 times the square root of 11 and 12. Next, we have log base 3 of 7 plus log base 3 of 12 plus log base 3 of square root of 11 times 12. So we have log base 3 of 7 plus log base 3 of 12 plus log base 3, and we know that it's 11 times 12 raised to the 1/2 power. So the 1/2 you want to bring it to the side, so you have log base 3 of 7 plus log base 3 of 12, and you have a 1/2 log base 3 of 11 times 12. So you have log base 3 of 7 plus log base 3 of 12 plus 1/2 log base 3 plus 1/2, let me move it just a little bit to the left, to the right, log base 3 of 12. So you have log base 3 of 7, and you have the log base 3 of 12 and 1/2 log base 3 of 12. So you have actually 1/2, which is 3 log base 3 of 12 plus log base 3 of 11. So your answer will be answer B. So we want to write this as a single logarithm. So I'm going to use the power property. So you have log base 3 of 7 to the 5th plus 15 log base 3, and it's going to be 12 to the 15th power plus log base 3 5 to the 5th. We have the same base, so we're going to use a product property. So 7/5, 7 to the power 5, 12 to the power 15, and then it's going to be plus 5 times 5 to the power 5. So I use the power property to make them exponents, and then I use the product property to make them into a single logarithm. Number 10, we have log base 6, and we're going to make it into a single logarithm, so it's 3x squared divided by 8 equals 3. So you have 6 to the power 3 equals 3x squared over 8. So we have 6 to the power 3, which gives you 216. 3x squared over 8. We multiply times 8. So 216 times 8 gives you 1,728 equals 3x squared. We want to divide by 3. So 1728 divided by 3 gives you 576. And then what you want to do to both sides is you want to get the square root of 576. So you get positive negative 24. The answer is D. We have negative 10e raised to the n plus 10 equals 94.2 divided by negative 10 divided by negative 10. So you have e raised to the n plus 10 equals 9.42. So now, since we have base e, we're going to write natural log of e raised to the n plus 10, natural log of 9.42. So we're going to bring down the exponent since we're using the inverse property. So you're going to get the natural log of 9.42 minus 10. So you have natural log of 9.42, subtract 10, and so what you get is negative 7.757. So the answer is B. Number 14, we're solving for x, so we have x equals the square root of 2 minus x, so we have to square both sides. So we have x squared equals 2 minus x. So you have x squared plus x minus 2 equals 0. So now you got to give me the factors of 2 that will give me 1. So you have x, so this will be x plus 2, x minus 1. So x equals negative 2, x equals 1. Those are the answers. So let's go ahead and check. And they're saying it looks like it's 1 is the answer. So if we submit 1, we have 1 equals our substitute, square root of 2 minus 1. So 1 does check. It's the square root of 1 that is checked. 16, it says name the polynomial. Since it's quadratic, it's raised to the second part, it's quadratic, and there's only one term. So that's a monomial, so the answer is D. Number 18, we're going to simplify. I do like to write x squared plus 2x to the 4th minus 4x cubed. I like to rewrite it. Minus 5x to the 4th minus 6x cubed plus 4x squared. So x squared and 4x squared gives you 5x squared, and I like to mark it out. The next one is 2x to the 4th. 2x to the 4th minus 5x to the fourth gives you negative 3x to the fourth. And we have negative 4x cubed minus 6x cubed, so it's negative 10x cubed. And I'm going to write in standard form. So we have negative 3x to the fourth minus 10x cubed plus 5x squared. So your answer is B. Okay, 21, we're factoring. So we have x to the third minus 3x squared plus 2x equals 0. The common factor is x. So you have x squared minus 2x squared plus 3x squared equals 0. So you have x, and the factors of 2 are 2 and 1, or negative 2 and negative 1, which is going to be negative 2, negative 1. So you have x minus 2, x minus 1, and so those are the factors x, x minus 2, and x minus 1, which is going to be D, right? Remember, for 22, we have x to the third power minus 8. Those are cubes. And remember the formula I gave you? You have a cubed minus b cubed is a minus b. And you have a squared plus ab plus b squared. So you have to identify your a. In this case, it's x to the third power, so it's x minus 2 to the third power. You just have to identify a and b. And you know that a is going to be x, and you know that b is going to be 2. So you have x minus 2. You'll have x minus 2. Then you have x squared. So it throws this one out. X squared plus 2x. They're all 2x. Plus 4, isn't it? So your answer is B. We're going to find the roots, and we're going to find it by solving for x. So we have 2 x squared minus x minus 5 equals 0. You're going to use the quadratic formula. Negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4 times ac divided by 2a. You know that the value of a is 2. You know the value of b is negative 1, and you know the value of c is negative 5. So b is going to be 1 plus or minus square root of, b is going to be negative 1, so it's going to be negative 1 squared minus 4 times 2. A is 2, and c is negative 5. And then we have 2 times a, which is going to be 4. So we know that b is negative 1, so it's going to be 1 plus or minus negative 1 squared minus 4 times a, it's 2, and c is negative 5. So negative 4 times negative 5 is 21. Let's double check the discriminant. So we have negative 1 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 5. That should be 41. It's 41. So we have x equals 1 plus or minus square root of 41 over 4. And you know there are two answers here. So it's going to be C. We're going to use synthetic division to find the remainder. And when we find the remainder, then f of 3 is going to equal the remainder. So we have 3. And what you're going to do is you're going to list the coefficients. So we're gonna list the coefficients. So we have 1, 3, negative 12, negative 13, and negative 7. So we have 1. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Negative 12 plus 18 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. Negative 13 plus 18 is 5. 3 times 5 is 15. And negative 7 plus 15 is 8. So f of 3 is 8. And if you wanted to check it, you would just have to put in the calculator, parentheses, 3 to the power 4 plus 3 to the power 3. 3 times 3 to the power 3, that's what I meant to say, minus 12 times 3 squared, right? For 28, we're dividing 2p cubed plus 20p squared plus 46p minus 16 by p plus 5. So you're going to multiply 2p squared times p, which gives you 2p cubed, 2p squared times 5, which gives you 10p squared. You subtract this, so we have 10p squared, bring down the 46. So now you ask yourself, what do you multiply p to get 10p squared? Well, in this case, it has to be 10p. 10p times p gives you 10p squared. 10 times 5 gives you 50. And then you're subtracting. So you have 10p squared minus 10p squared. That's 0. 46 minus 50 gives you negative 4p minus 16. So you multiply times negative 4 times p gives you negative 4p. Negative 4 times 5 gives you negative 20. You subtract. So negative 16 minus the negative 20, that's 4. That's your remainder. That's your remainder. So your answer is 2p squared plus 10p minus 4 plus 4 remainder, 4